If you only have 24 hours in a day, your success is dependent upon how you use the 24. You gotta hear me. People talk about Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. Listen to me. I don't care how much money you make. You only get 24 hours in a day. And the difference between Oprah and the person that's broke is Oprah uses her 24 hours wisely. That's it. Listen to me. That's it. You get 24. I don't care if you broke, you grew up broke. I don't care if you grew up rich. I don't care if you're in college, you're not in college. You only get 24 hours. And I blew up literally. I went from being a high school dropout to selling 6,000 books in less than 6 months. What happened? In my 24 hours. I was like, okay, Eric, you got to get a grip on your 24 hours because you're about to be broke for the rest of your life. And that's all I need you to do for me. I can tell you all about your life if you just write down your 24-hour schedule for me and you let me look at it. I can tell you where you're going to be in 5 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 10 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 20 years if you keep that schedule. If you only have 24 hours in a day, you're...
Abraham Ibrahim Jnr. is a visionary leader and operator renowned for his contributions in technology, innovation, and strategy. Currently serving as the head of innovation and IT at Mid-America Transplant USA, he has significantly impacted the U.S. transplant industry through his commitment to excellence and groundbreaking initiatives. His leadership has fostered advancements that enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of transplant operations. In addition to his role at Mid-America Transplant, Abraham is the co-founder of GetZing and the managing partner of Genesee Inc., an angel and pre-seed venture fund. His proven track record in identifying promising innovations and nurturing creativity has driven substantial growth in each of his ventures. Abraham's academic credentials include degrees from the Wharton School of Business, at the University of Pennsylvania and UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business, equipping him with a wealth of knowledge to navigate complex business challenges. With over 14 years of experience, Abraham possesses a deep understanding of systems, processes, design, development, and automation. His expertise has consistently delivered high-quality impacts across various industries globally, leaving a lasting mark on the businesses he engages with. He is also the author of Two Sides of a Coin, a reflective tale of self-awakening and personal growth. Beyond his professional achievements, Abraham is passionate about productivity, global food security, and improving healthcare systems. In his free time, he enjoys reading, exploring new cuisines, fishing, and playing golf with clients. With a resounding applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome to Elevate 2025, Abraham Ibrahim Jr. Abraham Ibrahim Jr. is a visionary leader and operator renowned for his contributions in technology, innovation, and strategy. Currently serving as the head of innovation and IT at Mid-America Transplant USA, he has significantly impacted the U.S. transplant industry through his commitment to excellence and groundbreaking initiatives.
Hello, how we all doing? Can you all hear me? Great, great. It is our third episode, third outing here today, and I am excited about the topic of the day. I am excited about the the speaker for today, and I'm sure that we had a great time last week with my very good friend Tayo Ashley. The feedbacks have been tremendous. The the reports, the everything we've been getting has been awesome, and I am excited about that. Again, welcome to today's webinar: How to Take Control of Your Finances in 2025. And believe me, guys, it's already 2025, and we have started. Right, the game is on, right? And I know a few days ago rather, I got to send out a post talking about the webinar for today. And my emphasis on that post was all about relationship and how relationship can influence our finances, how your relationship with humans can also affect your relationship with money. It goes hand in hand. They all work together, right? So I am just excited about the webinar today. And earlier we made a post as well, and I was talking about the fact that too many people let their money slip through their fingers each month. As soon as the money comes into your hands, either from business profits or from your salary, there are 101 things already waiting like a hawk to feast on on that money, right? I know it's been said that uh, expenses will always rise to meet up with income. Now, what comes to play will be discipline. What comes to play would be your knowledge as to how you relate with money. And then at the end of the month or at the end of the year, we begin to ask ourselves. I've been there several times, thanks to my friend on the call who is going to be speaking with us today as well. I've had to ask myself a few times as well, like, where did all this money go? Right? Where did it go? I just made this money. Where did it go? Right? And that's the question that a lot of people keep asking every week, every month, every year. If you can just take a stock of the amount of money that went through your hands in 2024, you will be amazed. You will be amazed, right? I did a stock of that, um, December last year, and that also came, after a few conversations I had with my friend Abraham Ibrahim, and I'm like, oh my god, so this amount of money went through my hand, and I was looking at where the money went to an extent. I'm like, oh no, I have to do something about this in 2025. Your finances shape your future. It shapes the future of your children. Whether you are laying the foundation already or you're already making money, probably some of us on this call, you're yet to begin to make money, I mean, but the truth of the matter is that whatever you are making right now is the foundation to build a greater financial future, right? And if you're there already, if you mean you're making millions of naira or hundreds of thousands of dollars or pounds, uh, the truth of the matter is this: you still need to be accountable to yourself. You still need to be accountable to yourself. I said something a few weeks ago that through financial mastery, it's not just about earning more. True financial mastery is not just about earning more. And I think my friend said something like that when we had the summit here in Maryland, in the US, sometimes in June. It's about growing smarter. It's about understanding that money is your slave, money is your servant, and attending to it with the right attitude, right disposition. So, I mean, I'm not the speaker for today, and I am just excited. And we know that we're living in an era of constant change, economic shifts, policies coming up from different places, new technologies, right? And we also have evolving global challenges as well. So, how are we going to position ourselves in 2025 such that whichever way things go, we are on point with our money and our finances? Very important. Very important. So, who else would be able to do justice to this topic today than my very good friend Abraham Ibrahim, who is not a stranger to all of us anymore. He is the director, or he is a director with KJK, and he is also co-founder GetZing. He's an investor and an ecosystem builder, and of course he's an author right, of the book Two Sides of a Coin, and he's working on a few other ones coming up in a bit, right? I don't know if he's going to talk about that today, but then I am excited about today. I also want to learn. You want to learn. We all want to learn together as to how we can make 2025 our best year ever yet when it comes to money. So the next voice you're going to hear after this video, if there's anyone that would still play, will be the voice of my good friend Abraham Ibrahim Jr. Thank you so much, guys.
Abraham Ibrahim Jr. is a visionary leader and operator renowned for his contributions in technology, innovation, and strategy. Currently serving as the head of innovation and IT at Mid-America Transplant USA, he has significantly impacted the U.S. transplant industry through his commitment to excellence and groundbreaking initiatives. His leadership has fostered advancements that enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of transplant operations. In addition to his role at Mid-America Transplant, Abraham is the co-founder of GetZing and the managing partner of Genesee Inc., an angel and pre-seed venture fund. His proven track record in identifying promising innovations and nurturing creativity has driven substantial growth in each of his ventures. Abraham's academic credentials include degrees from the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania and UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business, equipping him with a wealth of knowledge to navigate complex business challenges. With over 14 years of experience, Abraham possesses a deep understanding of systems, processes, design, development, and automation. His expertise has consistently delivered high-quality impacts across various industries globally, leaving a lasting mark on the businesses he engages with. He is also the author of Two Sides of a Coin, a reflective tale of self-awakening and personal growth. Beyond his professional achievements, Abraham is passionate about productivity, global food security, and improving healthcare systems. In his free time, he enjoys reading exploring new cuisines, fishing, and playing golf with clients. With a resounding applause.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everyone. It's so excited. I'm actually so excited being back here today. Elevate 2025. Thank you so much, KJK. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my friend. I was also checking out some of what happened here last week. And I was like, oof, why did KJK make me come behind this person? Because last week was just like a masterclass. I was listening to it late last night and I was like, oof, this is hot. This is really interesting. I know KJK also said earlier that he's not a speaker, but the 5 minutes introduction he gave literally just cleared my entire summary. So I'm like, well, we can just pack it and go back home now because that 5 minute summary he gave is so powerful and amazing. So thank you so much, KJK, for all the work and thank you for the invite. I appreciate it. I do not take it for granted. Okay, let us rumble. I'm here to talk about a very uncomfortable subject, like we all know, money. And unfortunately for me, or fortunately, I'm the guy who is going to be the bad guy. I'm going to be the guy who tells you what you're doing is wrong. Maybe there's another way to think about how to manage your money and all of those things. So I'm that guy. And like I always do, if we were in person, I would have, said hello to a few people. I see some people in the chat. I see Faith. I see Dorothy. I see Phil Lua. I see Dada. I see Antonia. I see Kike Lomo. I see Charles. So we've all met. So we're all friends now. Okay. I know some names. I can call some names out. There's no issues. We're all friends. Today, I want to speak on a subject titled Stop Managing and Start Thriving. How do you thrive in 2025? How do you build your financial confidence? What I want to do today is very simple, is to challenge us on how do you build your financial confidence in 2025? Let's be honest with each other. A lot of us, most of the time, feels like we work so hard. But at the end of the month, when you take a stock of how much money you have left at the end of the month, you start asking yourself questions like, where did all my money go? Or maybe some of us, we are making some incredible, amazing new set of money. So take, for example, in 2024 or 2023, you were making 100,000 or 200,000. And in 2024, you saw 2025, you see yourself that you're making more money than you've ever made in your career, but somehow you just don't see it, or you are afraid that there's one huge expense that's going to come and set you into panic mode. If this sounds like you, I promise you, and I'm telling you, you're not alone. Statistics have backed it up that about 65% of people actually live paycheck to paycheck. So meaning that a lot of people are having the same issue. Every time people are struggling to understand how to manage their money. They want to know. I think maybe the problem is not our paycheck. It's not the size of the paycheck. It's not about how much you make. It's about how we've been taught on how to manage and steward our money. So the challenging thought I want to share with us today is, I personally want to kind of suggest to you that maybe managing your money shouldn't be the goal. Because when you focus on managing, all you do is you're focused on survival. And survival is very exhausting, I promise you. Thinking about surviving is very exhausting. So maybe instead of focusing on managing, how about I make a flip side and say, hey, Abraham, you deserve more. You deserve to thrive in your finances. I promise you, thriving is not about how much money you make. It's not about you making 6 figures, 7 figures. It's not about cutting coffee off your list of things you spend. It's not about cutting shawarma or all these nice things you like to enjoy. It's not about cutting all of those out of your life. Thriving is about building your financial confidence. It's about waking up every day and knowing exactly where your money is going and feeling in control of your choices and using your money to create the life that you want. Not just thinking about, oh yeah, oh, where's this my money going? Where's my money going? Where's all of this money going? Where's all of this money? Take, for example, I was doing an audit in December. I was like, okay, 2024, how was it? I saw how much money I made in 2024. I was like, oh boy. Even as financially well as I think I am, I was like, ooh, I made some blunder. I was reckless with some of my spending here. And I was asking myself, what can I do better? Some of the thoughts I want to share with you are some of the things that have actually helped me personally. And I think it's going to go ahead and help you as well. So today, as we rumble today and talk about this very interesting subject on how to build our financial confidence in 2025, I'm not going to tell us today to tighten our belt or download another budgeting app. I'm going to show you how to stop living on autopilot with your money and how you can build systems that actually works for you. Not systems that work for Abraham, systems that work for you, systems that work for you as a person and your current situation and circumstance. So it's systems that work for you, whether you're just getting by or you have a steady income, but you have no plan, or you just want to stop managing and you want to start thriving. I promise you, 2025 is not just another year. It's a year that you need to elevate your finances. It's a year that you need to take control of your finances and your future. I promise you, you cannot be your best self if your financial area is not fully sorted. If you do not manage your finances well, you cannot be your best self yet. Because every time an opportunity comes, because you want to take advantage of it, but because you've not managed your finances well, you're not able to take advantage of things that would accelerate your growth and move you to the next level. So my challenge is you today. My challenge to you today is this today. I want you to listen carefully. I want you to assume best intents. I want you to listen carefully. I want you to reflect. And I want you to pick one action item today. Just one action item. Don't think about 10 things. Don't think about making your next million. Don't think, just one action item today that you're going to focus on for the rest of the year, to say for the year 2025, this is one action I want to take today for the next quarter. This is one action I want to take for the next 30 days. This is one action I want to take for the next 2 weeks when it comes to the area of my finances. If we can have my slide stuff on agenda today, I want to talk about a few things. One, I'll give my usual disclaimer. This is for inspirational, informational, educational purposes only. This is not an investment guide, and consult with your financial advisor for financial decision. For an agenda, we're going to talk about 5 things majorly. One, we're going to do an audit, meaning where are we as a person today? Where am I? In the journey of financial freedom, where am I? What level am I? That's number one. Number two, we're going to talk about the problem a little bit more deeper, meaning why managing money keeps me stuck. We're going to talk about that a little bit deeper, meaning why is managing money the problem? Number three, we're going to then talk about the shift from managing to thriving. What is the shift from managing to thriving? And then I'm going to give us some step-by-step guide on how to get your money right in 2025, regardless of the level that you are or the status that we are. And then we're going to, if time permits, we're going to talk about overcoming excuses or common excuses when it comes to financial confidence. This is something that baffles me because I look at it a lot and I start thinking about it, about financial freedom. It's something I've been obsessing about, for the past couple months or couple years rather, financial freedom. And every one of us, if we have people who can tell me if they have anyone on the call who doesn't want to be financially free, please let me know. If you do not want to be financially free, let me know. If you're here on this call and you do not want to be financially free, please put it in the chat, or probably, put it in the chat and say, hey, I do not want to be financially free. The assumption is every one of us would like to be financially free, whatever that means. And there's been research and a lot of things that have been done, and a summary has been made that there are about 7 levels of financial freedom. So what I want us to do is I want us to walk from step 1 or level 1 to level 7. And think about this in the context of where am I? Because the first step in you actually elevating yourself is doing a personal audit to realize where you are. Telling yourself that truth that this is the stage I'm in and this is the next level I'm striving to get into. Until we come into that reality that you're telling yourself that this is the level I want to get into. So take, for example, what is level one? Level one is all about clarity. You want to figure out where you are financially and where you want to go. What is level two? Level two is you're in the self-sufficiency stage. You moved out of home, you're probably still staying home, or you're covering your own expenses yourself. You have just enough to cover your own expenses. Personally, I'm not in the self-sufficiency phase. I'm not at that level. The next level is the breathing room space. The breathing room means you're saving some money. You're no longer living paycheck to paycheck, but you're just right there. Any little discomfort, any little emergency, any little panic, any little big expense, drop you back to the self-sufficiency phase. If you lose your job at the self-sufficiency phase, back to the next level one. The next level, stability. At stability, you have no bad debts. Your 6 months worth of living expense for emergency. That's level four. Level five is you have 2 years of living expense. You could take a year off work and be like, okay, I just want to travel around the world. I just don't want to work for 1 year. I just want to rest. I want to give back myself. I want to be refreshed. That's level five. You have some flexibility there. And then after level five, you go to level six, which is you have financial independence, meaning that you can choose to quit your job and all of the investments you have put in place actually can maintain your lifestyle. And then level six, or seven rather, is abundant wealth, where money is not a concern. You have more than you'll ever need. I'm at level five today. I'm pushing myself aggressively to get to level six. I'm challenging myself. Some of the things I'm teaching today, some of the things I was sharing with you today are things that I'm also using for myself to push me from level five into level six. So my challenge to us today is push yourself. Listen carefully. Take things that would actually work for you to take you from whatever level you are today to the next level. I'll say this. It's okay to jump from level one to level three. But the discipline required to jump from level one to level three, you have to be willing to pay the price. You have to be willing to make the sacrifices required. Start thriving and stop managing. What are the downsides of managing money? Like, what are the downsides of managing it? One of the things about managing money is it keeps you stuck. And when you manage money, it doesn't prepare you for a place of actually attacking emergency because you are always on the defensive. You just want to be like, oh yeah, anything could go wrong. You're just right there. You're trying to, you're getting so attached to it that you're not actually making progress with it. You're not actually doing things you can. You're so emotionally attached to it. Managing money actually keeps you in a box where you are not able to attack emergency. You're only focused on where you are, how you can maintain the current lifestyle you've created for yourself. I'll give you an example. If you're always juggling bills, or you're relying on credit cards or borrowing money here and there, you're not managing your money. Your money is managing you. If you're focusing on, oh yeah, how do I live? How do I meet with this Jones? How do I do this? How do I do that? If you're just always juggling bills and relying on, oh yeah, hey guy, can you loan me $1,000? Can you loan me $500? Can you do this? And that's the way you manage yourself. You're not actually managing your money. Your money is managing you. What does striving when it comes to finances, what does it mean? What does it look like and what does it mean? Number one thing that I want us to settle today once and for all is that financial freedom is not about having millions in your account. It's about having enough to live without stress, whatever that means for you. So take, for example, to Abraham, having $3 million in my account, just sitting there looking at it, is financial freedom to me. To someone else, having 150,000 is financial freedom to you at the time. So you have to get to a place where you look at yourself and say, hey, what does financial freedom mean to me? Until you answer that question, you're just going to keep throwing the darts and would never hit the bull's high because you have no goal you're striving towards. Take, for example, you can go granular to the state of what does financial freedom means to me this month? This month, financial freedom can mean to you that I do not want to borrow money this month. What does financial freedom mean to me this quarter? What does financial freedom mean to me this year? Three quick thoughts about financial thriving in finances. Number one, clarity. Knowing where your money is going. Knowing where your money is going. I'll share something with us. My wife always clown me. Well, I throw her under the bus every time. And every time she gets the opportunity, she throws me under the bus as well. So, hey, she always comes for me because I tend to have cash in my wallet. And there's a psychological thing with when you have cash in your wallet and you have a debit card or a credit card. And the reason I have cash in my wallet is because the emotional connection with parting away with cash, it's stronger than with just swiping a card. So take, for example, if you have a credit card or a debit card, it's easier for you to just say, oh, it's just plastic. It's just plastic. It's just plastic. But when you have cash, you have that strong emotional connection where you're like, I'm not letting this money go. I worked too hard for this money. But every time you pay cash for it, it comes from me identifying that in myself that made me realize, I need to know where all my money is going to. Because I know I know I have $1,000 in my wallet. How did it become 800? I question myself. Clarity, very important. Control. A lot of us are financially reckless. We need to get to a place where we can clarify between needs and wants. Needs and wants. What are needs? What are wants? Needs are things that you as a person, you need to survive. Three quick things. Food, shelter. Food, shelter. Food, shelter. Those are core needs. Clothes, yeah. Ashwabi, well. Knowing fully well what is the difference between needs and wants. I'll give you an example. To me, if I look at my needs, my phone could be a need to me if that is the source of my income. But if you're not making money with your phone credit or bills or internet or whatever it is that you add to your phone is actually a want. Are we tracking? Are we tracking? All right. Having control and making intentional financial decision. And then the last phase of it is growth. Using your money to build the future you want. A lot of us are stuck at the clarity phase. Meaning we always keep telling ourselves, oh, where's all this money going to? 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 We never take time to move to the next level, which is not the clarity phase, which is the control phase. Meaning after you know exactly what is, where your money is going to and how you're spending your money, the next thing you have to do is control and make intentional financial decisions that works for you. Are we tracking? So when you get to that phase where you're no longer lost, we all know there's a problem. We all know we're not managing our funds well. We all know there's a problem. Yes. What is the next phase? Being very intentional about every dollar, every naira, every pound, everything you need to spend or everything you spend, being intentional with it. That's the second step. Now, a lot of us wants to jump from the clarity phase into the growth phase. A lot of people want to move from, oh yeah, there's a problem, and then they jump straight into investing, or they jump straight into building wealth. But you've not taken control to know where your money is going to and all these other things. That actually puts you in a big box where you're not intentional about how you're spending the money. You don't know where all these things, you're not planning it well. You're just jumping from, yeah, I know I have a problem. I don't have financial wellness. I want to have abundant wealth. So I decide to just go straight from, instead of having control, make an intentional decision, saving to make sure I build enough to be able to afford what I'm going for. You get to a stage where I just go buy that real estate, or I just go buy that land, or I just go buy this, or I just go buy that, just because I want to feel good about the decisions I'm making. No, there's steps and levels to it. You have to go from clarity, you go into control, and then you move into growth. And the growth stage is when you actually use your money to build the future that you want. What is the shift? Let's make a shift from managing to thriving. There are a few things you need to shift your mindset. Number one, there are key mindsets you have to shift. One, you have to shift your mindset from, scarcity to abundance. If you want to learn more about that, go on YouTube, go watch the last summit we had at the US. We talked about mindset changes a lot. Go watch that. There's about 20 minutes of content there that is going to amazingly change your mind on how you see money. The second thing I want to talk about, before I just want to talk about abundance. Abundance isn't about having more. It's about making the most of what you already have. A lot of us think about abundance as, I have a lot of money. No, it's about you maximizing and stewarding that which you have right now. It is $100,000 that you have. It is $100,000. It is 100,000 naira. It is 500,000. It's a million. Whatever it is you have right now, stewarding it properly for you to build the lifestyle and the future you want and you think you deserve. Number two step to actually move from managing to thriving is you have to move from reacting to planning. A lot of us are very reactive. And when it comes to managing, one of the key difference between managing your finances and thriving with your finances is we always react. We always react. One of the things I never do is I never react. I never make decisions on emotions. I have a budget that, okay, this is how much I'm giving on donation, I'm giving out to people this month. Once that dollar is exceeded, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to help, but I'm sorry. Once that dollar is up, no more eat out for me. Once I exceed my blow money, well, I'm sorry. I got to drag myself to the kitchen and figure something out in the fridge that I'm going to eat. It's that simple. No more eat out. Once I exceed that, can I truly go out and eat? Absolutely. But it is instilling that discipline in yourself that I have a plan and I have to stick to my plan. Because every $100 I take out outside the planned finances, it's me borrowing from my future. And if I have this old dream for my future, I need to be able to pay the price today to be able to live the future I've dreamt for myself. So you need to get to a place where you realize that thriving is your growth, is your goal. So you have to stop reacting. I promise you, people will tell you stories. As a matter of fact, life will happen. Once life happens, if you do not have a plan for when life actually happens, for when you lose your job, from when that income stop coming. Take, for example, there are a lot of entrepreneurs on this call. You need to start setting aside funds, start paying yourself salaries. So that when the money is not flowing through the business, you're able to budget to say, okay, I'm paying myself 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 every month. This is my salary. From the 100,000 I'm paying myself, I'm spending this on this, I'm spending this on that, I'm saving this amount. So that when the business doesn't stop flowing and your income reduces, you are not at a disadvantage. Number three things. You have to move from survival to confidence. You have to move from survival to confidence. How many of you know that sometimes if you just have some certain amount of money in your bank accounts, it just makes you feel good? Well, if you want to lie to yourself, well, I won't lie to myself. Me seeing some certain amount of money in my bank account just makes me feel okay. Because I just feel like just by seeing this makes me feel good. That's number one. Number two is having a financial plan, meaning that you have a goal. A lot of people, the research has shown that a lot of people that have financial plan have 2.5x percentage more to feel confident about their finances regardless of their income level. So you having a financial plan in the first place, you are at this level. Without a plan, you are at a disadvantage. Without a plan, you are at a disadvantage. So I'm going to jump into the steps of, just looking at the time, just so we can encourage some questions and, make that very interactive. If you have questions, start thinking about questions. We're going to take some questions at the end of the session. 5 steps to build your financial confidence and get your money right. Number 1, audit your situation. That's number 1 thing. That's number 1 step. I'm going to give us this 5 step. Please write it down. Audit your situation. Remember, you cannot fix what you don't understand. You cannot fix what you don't understand. Awareness is the first step to building financial confidence. Awareness is the first step to building financial confidence. You cannot fix what you don't understand. I promise you, you telling yourself that, oh, I have a money problem, I don't see where all my money is going, doesn't mean that you actually understand where it's going. You have to understand where is the problem. Where am I spending most of my money on? Am I spending most of my money on eating out? Am I spending it on subscriptions? Am I spending it on gifts? Am I spending it on clothes? Am I spending it on entertainment? What exactly am I spending my money on? Where is my money going? Do an analysis. Sit with yourself and tell yourself, where is my money going to? Analysis, very important. Studies have shown that about 23% people who actually track their expenses spend 23% less on the average. So meaning when you track your expenses and you're very intentional about every spend, every cent, every naira, every kobo that you spend, it actually helps you as a person and lets you spend less. And what happens when you spend less? Once you spend less, you have more money to contribute into your future self. You have more money for your future. You have more money to live the life you have and dreamt for yourself. How do you do this? How do you audit yourself? Let's make it very practical. How do you audit yourself? How do you audit yourself? One thing you need to do is track every expense. We're not getting into budgets. We're not talking about budget. No, this has nothing to do with budget. What is the first step? Create an Excel file, create a document, get a paper and write down every single expense you make. Every single expense you make. Every time you purchase something, you can use your phone, the notepad on your phone. Every time you make an expense, every time you go into your banking app and you transfer that money, every time you swipe that ATM card, put that expense on your phone's app. Note it down. That's the first step. Awareness. The goal is just, let's know where this is. So I want to challenge everyone. Let's take 30 days from today till the end of February. Let's take that task of actually tracking every expense we make, no matter how small. No matter how small. It might just be that little $5, $10 you give to someone, or you give to, whatever, 5,000 you give to your nephew or your niece, whatever. No matter how small it is, make that discipline for the next 30 days. Challenge yourself for the next 30 days to take notes. That's step number 1. That's action number 1. Number 2, build a financial roadmap. Building a financial roadmap. A roadmap is something that actually turns dreams and wishes. Are you with me? Dreams and wishes into goals. And then from goals, we go into action. Remember, a goal without a plan is just a wish. A goal without a plan is just a wish. So the second action item is building a financial roadmap. And what does that mean? What that means is at the end of February 2025, I want to have 5,000 naira in my savings. How am I going to find the 5,000? So take for example, I make 100,000 every month. And my expense is so high and all these things. And I'm like, oh, where do I find this? From when you do that first action step to see where all your money is going to every month, you would easily identify areas that you can take out to help you save. Put together a financial roadmap. A financial roadmap. A goal without a plan is just a wish. We all agree with that. How do you do this? Set SMART goals. Make the financial goal very specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. For example, I want to save $5,000 by the end of 2025 by saving $200 every month. Are we tracking? I want to save $5,000 by the end of 2025 by saving $200 every month. Is this goal achievable? Heck no. Are we tracking? Because if I save $200 every month, are we tracking with me? If you save $200 every month, between now and the end of the year, you only have 12 months in a year. You only have $2,400. So I'm already setting myself up from failure. So setting a realistic goal for yourself. Make it very specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. What is the challenge here for this action item? Write down one financial goal before you leave today. Write down one financial goal. It doesn't have to be so huge. It doesn't have to be something so big. Write down one financial goal for yourself today. Just one. And then once you write that one goal, list 3 steps. You might not have all those 3 steps identified. You might have just one. List 3 steps, small steps on how you're going to achieve this particular goal. You might not have the answer today, but think about it. Meditate on it. How can I achieve this goal from auditing my personal expense? What can I take out? What can I remove? Where can I go from here? Are we tracking? Step 3, create a budget that works for you, just for you. Because once you write down and you audit your expenses and you have a financial plan, the next step is creating a budget that actually works for you. Budgeting is you giving yourself permission to spend without guilt. It's as simple as that. You work so hard to make the money. You push yourself so aggressively. You spend your life to make all this money. Some of you work 12 hours. Some of you work 14 hours. Some of you work a long hour. Some of you work 24-hour shifts. You work too hard to not know where your money is going to. I'll give you an example. I had a friend who traveled and I was trying to buy some things and I was like, oh, I was going to buy this person, that person, my wife. And I was like, oh, yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. And when the total came and I was like, oh, yeah, sure, let's go ahead and purchase it. And the person was like, wow, you're just going to spend it like that? Like it was the same brand. And I was like, well, I was deciding on choosing, which of them to buy for my wife. I was like, oh, let's just buy the 2. Like the only reason I could make that decision is because I have saved something there's something in my budget that acquires for some of those things that I do for my spouse. Budgeting is giving yourself permission to spend your own funds. There are different kinds of budget. There's the 50-30-20 rule. There's also the zero-based budgeting. I always go for the zero-based budgeting. What's the zero-based budgeting? Every money, every cent, every dollar, every naira, every kobo is fully accounted for. Everything is fully accounted for. I encourage you to look into zero-based budgeting. You can find everything. It means that every dollar that you have, has a purpose. Every naira that you have has a purpose. Every pound that you have has a purpose. What is the challenge for this action item? So you can start thinking. So the way I want to challenge you about all this action item I'm giving us is this. Start thinking. Which of these steps am I stuck? Am I on the clarity phase? Are we tracking? What phase am I right now? Am I in the clarity phase? Am I in the control phase? Or am I in the growth phase? So as we begin to think about this different action item I'm giving to us, start looking at it from that lens to decide which of this challenge you're going to take up for yourself. Which of this challenge are you going to take up for yourself and work towards it in 2025 to elevate yourself, to elevate your finances? Which of these steps are you going to take? Challenge number 4, build a financial safety net. I always make this joke. Life lives. Life is going to continue to life. But if you don't have a safety net, when life lives, you're in trouble. Emergencies aren't a matter of time. It's not a matter of if they're going to happen. It's a matter of when they are going to happen. A safety net keeps you out of stress, keeps you out of debt when lives happen. Take, for example, you're going to drive a car. You're going to own a car. You're going to drive a car. The car is going to break down. The car is going to break down. Once the car breaks down, what happens? If you don't have a safety net to maintain it, you're in trouble. You're then going to go borrow. You're going to go swipe that credit card. But if you have that savings, that emergency saving, save somewhere else for the sake of emergency. You go from there. What is emergency fund? Emergency fund is just simple. For everyone, it's different. In the US, I'll recommend have at least $1,000. If you're in the UK, I'll recommend have at least £1,000. In Nigeria, I'll recommend to you have at least 20,000 naira in emergency fund. Meaning this is the money you have in your account stored somewhere that you don't touch for whatsoever reason. You just have that stash somewhere. Anything goes wrong, you have that stash, starting with that. You start to grow as your level continues to increase on the financial freedom journey. You start to increase your financial emergency fund to match the level that you're in. So take, for example, you're in the US. Because you're in level 1 and you're trying to figure out where your money is going and all this, have $1,000. As you move from that stage to the next stage, you increase it to a month of living expense. Are we tracking with me? Then you move from a month living expense to 3 months living expense. Then you move to 6 month living expense. Then to 2 years living expense. And then at 2 years living expense, you can go, then you move to the next level. Are we tracking? Build a financial safety net. Now, there's this study that says that only 44% of people in America could cover about $1,000 of emergency with their savings. This is rampant. People just go swipe credit card. So my recommendation to you is save $1,000, walk towards 3 to 6 months of living expense, and go from there. Another way we can do that. This one blew my mind. I'll give you an example. I was casually playing around in November of 2024. And I was like, you know what? I want to change the way I think about investing. So I have a certain amount of money that I invest every month, retirement, my brokerage account, and some of these things. And I have this app in the US called Robinhood, and Nigeria has a number of them, right? And I was like, you know what? What if I save every week? On Mondays and on Fridays, I invest $20 on Monday. I tell Robinhood, I'm not advertising for Robinhood, I apologize, that every Monday and every Friday deduct $20 from my accounts every Monday and every Friday. And once you deduct it, automatically contribute it to the S&P 500 mutual fund, right? How much would that look like for me? And I realized today, from just that one single decision of pulling that fund, I have almost about $4,000 in that account today. Are you with me? Just from making that simple decision of, oh yeah, just take 20,000. Well, I increased it from $20, to $50, and then at some point I increased it to about $100. But I realized that I'll spend this money anyways, right? Why not just invest it into something that's stable, that's guaranteed to make me 15 to 20% annually? So I keep taking it. So there's so many apps that are available that will force you to discipline yourself and invest in your future. So think about those. You're probably thinking, oh yeah, I don't have so much money, but 1,000 naira a day multiplied by 30 days is 30,000 naira. So making that conscious decision to save those tiny little fraction that you spend on call card. Maybe all you have to do is cut your call card expenses by 50%, and the remaining 50%, you just stash it into one of these. There are a lot of them, I don't want to advertise them in Nigeria. You just stash it in one of those accounts. Let it grow. Forget about it. What do you have to lose? It's your money. Let it keep growing for you. Are we tracking with me? Start automatic saving. Automatic saving saves you a lot. I'll give you an example. Personally, as disciplined as I think I am, sometimes I feel I'm reckless. So when my pay is coming, I have a way where all of my money is distributed across different bank accounts. So take, for example, this amount goes to my housing funds. This goes to my investment account automatically. So by the time the only money I see is the only money I can actually spend and blow. Are we all tracking with me? So you have to be very intentional, because if you're not, when that bulk money comes to your account, you feel like you have money and you want to start spending and you start looking at it from that lens. But when you see that the money is not actually yours, it's money that is meant for your future, and you don't want to borrow from your future, create that discipline and system that actually works best for you. I just described my own scenario. Your scenario might be different from mine. The way your system will work might be vastly different from mine. Figure out a system that works for you. What is the challenge here? Log in into your bank account and set up an automatic transfer today to saving for your money. It could be as simple as $5 a week. It could be as simple as $5 a month. It could be as simple as $5 every other day. It could be as simple as $1 a day. It could be as simple as that. There is the law of compounding interest. I'll challenge you, go research the benefits of compounds. When things start compounding, that's when you're going to, let's not talk about investment today. So think about that automatic savings. Pulling that little scrap here, that little scrap here, $2 here, $1 here. Set up that automatic saving. There's so many of those investments. Do some research, do a lot of it. Figure out those things you can save for yourself. 5 things, and then we're going to stop. The number 5 is invest in your future. Saving is important, but investing is how you grow your wealth. A lot of people get stuck at the saving phase and never invest. Invest in your future. If you invest $100 a month today, at an annual rate of about 8% annual return, in 30 years, you're going to have $150,000 in 30 years. So if you invest $100 a month, because of compound interest and all the benefits that you benefit from, whatever it is, from the fluctuations, at the end of 30 years, you're going to have $150,000. If you're in the US, you're in Nigeria, you're in the UK, open a retirement account, open a 401k, open an IRA account, start contributing into it. Find low index funds or ETFs that you can contribute into, depending on your risk appetite. You cannot go wrong with the S&P 500. You cannot go wrong with, there's certain mutual funds you cannot go wrong with. There's certain ETFs you cannot go wrong with. Do your research. Find a financial planner. Work with a financial planner to help you figure out the best thing for you that works for your risk appetite. Start investing, even if it's as small as $20 a month. Start investing today. Your future self will thank you for doing that. Your future self will thank you for doing that. I'm going to talk about 3 quick excuses, or, as common excuses that people give about financial, and then I'm going to wrap it up and throw it back to KJK. Number 1, I don't earn enough. That's one big excuse. I don't earn enough money. I want to challenge you today and say this to you. It's not about how much money you make. It's about what you do with what you have. I'll give you an example. I have a friend who makes about $180,000 annually, and I have another friend who makes about $93,000 annually. My friend that makes $93,000 annually has a more robust lifestyle, is free and able to go on vacations and all these things than the one making 180,000 annually. Are we tracking with me? So it's not about how much money you make, it's about how you steward what you make. That's number one excuse. Number two, I don't know where to start. That's another excuse. How do you reframe this? You reframe it by saying you do not have to overhaul everything. It's not like you're just going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm budgeting right now. Everybody comes to you. No, this is not in my budget. That's not how it works. You take slow baby steps to make that turnaround happen for you. Start small, track your spending, or save $5 a day, $1 a day, whatever looks good for you and your current situation. Number three excuse, I cannot stick to a plan. Automating your finances, you don't have to rely on your willpower. A lot of us, we believe that, oh yeah, I'm Mr. Strong. I'm Mr. Financially Strong. I know what I'm doing with my money. No, I'm here to tell you, system beats habit every time. Building a system beats habits every time. If you have a system that works for you, regardless, you are sure to actually eat your goal every given time. Remember that system beats habits every time. I want to challenge you today. We have heard about the saying that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. We've all heard about all the saying. I'm here to challenge us today to say 2025 is your year. It's the year that you actually move from just surviving to truly thriving. I promise you, it's not about perfection. You don't have to be perfect. It's about making incremental progress every day. Take one step today, and by this time next year, I am very sure when you look back, you would have realized that your financial life has elevated to the next level. Thank you very much for the time.
Oh what a session. Back to back. Whoa. I guess I should take a water. From start to finish. I don't know if we have questions. If we do, I'll appreciate the media to either put it on the screen or you can drop it in the chat room at the back end, the console, so I can read it from there. Um, Media, thank you. But then I just want to say a very big thank you, my brother, my friend, for this opportunity to have you with us here today. It is every time I'm able to just jump in and drag you into this space, I am always humbled and honored. And say a very big thank you to Tiffany as well. Thank you so much. Um, a few questions though. I want to call out um, about three things, and I want you to, without mercy, because yeah, I want you to just speak to it um, a little bit more, you know, uh, just to help our audience cut across the different, because we have. I got to know we have audience from about five different countries right now on the call, so and different currencies. We have, how money operates in the various currencies. But what you have done, you have just done justice to it and cut across all of this platform. But before I even call those words out, um, how do you? I don't earn enough. You said something about I don't earn enough, right? Can you? That's probably the cry of some people. But then you said something very important when you were speaking about the fact that start where you are, start where you are, right, and figure out a system that works for you. So if you want to just take the part of our audience, and I'm going to talk about the other part of the audience that says, Mr. AB, I don't have enough. Like what I'm making right now cannot. I have school fees, I have rent, I have food, I have gas to buy, and I'm making this amount of money. And Chris is on the call, and I was going to tell you, I have a few people, about two people that I understood. I mean, talking to a Nigerian audience, now I understood when they were making 50,000 naira, and they were still able to save at the end of the year. They were still able to make ends meet without any external income coming in. And I have someone who was making, then she got to making 7. I've used her as an example to a few people. Like, go and ask her how she does it. I don't know how she does it. Really, I don't know how she does it. And I think we want to have an interactive session with her, Chris, for those category of people who always cry out saying, I don't make enough, right? Do you want to speak a little bit more to those people? Like, just give us an advice. Give them an advice. Is it what could be the reason why? uh, you understand my question or what I want you to? Excellent, thank you.
Yes, I do. I think one of the things I think is that, like you said, no mercy.
Go
Okay.
ahead, sir. I know how you talk, and I know how you
um,
gotta hold back.
I think a lot of people, we tell ourselves a lot of lies.
Mm,
And that's one of it, which is, I don't make enough.
mm.
I think we're comparing ourselves with
There you
one
go.
another.
There you go.
And in that comparison comes a lot of pressure.
Hmm.
And what that pressure brings is dissatisfaction with the current level that you are.
Wow.
And that dissatisfaction is what makes you feel like, oh my, look at what my friend just bought a new car. I'm out here still driving an old car. Oh, I feel like I want to save more. I want to have the best outfits. I'm trying to project what I don't have. I'm trying to please people who don't probably don't remember me, who won't remember me tomorrow. Like I'm trying to buy the most latest outfits. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. But until you get to a place where you are confident in who you are, and that comes from the place of personal audits. That's why I was challenging us earlier to audit ourselves and our lifestyles. The first thing you have to do is auditing yourself. From that place of audits, it will show a lot of things for you. Keeping up with people is one of the reasons where that dissatisfaction comes. So my challenge will be go back and do a personal reflection. I can tell you for a fact, if you look at where your money is going to and how you're spending your money, you would find, no matter how small it is, you will find some places where you can save. That I can assure you. And if anyone wants to take the bet, I'm willing to take someone and spend about 15 minutes with a person doing an audit and showing rooms of where they are prioritizing their wants over the needs. It goes back to that. What is your want and what is your need? Take, for example, I spend 30,000 naira, for example, I spend 30,000 naira every month on data, for example. And all I do is just go on social media to laugh. Well, is that want or is that need? You see where I'm going? So you have to be able to sit down and tell yourself the truth. I'm not going to be on Instagram for a whole month so I can save $10,000 or 10,000 naira. I'm not going to go do XYZ. I'm not going to go visit anyone this month, if that makes sense, because I don't have to, because I need to save money. We just have to tell ourselves the uncomfortable truths and do the uncomfortable in order to make room for it. But until we get to that place of discipline, we will keep saying we don't have enough. And now, not having enough could also be a mindset thing.
Hmm.
It could also be a poor mindset thing where people think they don't have enough. I
Hmm.
always make this joke with some friends. Well, you're not poor, you're just broke. And broke is relative. I
Hmm.
claim I'm broke sometimes. When you hear me say I'm broke, it doesn't mean I don't have money. It just means that, well, KJK understand. It's the where I want it to be. It's not at that level. So I start claiming broke just so that I can tell myself mentally to stop spending money. It's
Hmm.
just that simple. It's just you understanding yourself and creating a system that works best for you. I hope I did justice to that answer. KJK, do you have any thoughts to that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just feel that anything, I mean, perfect response, and that's exactly. I mean, you already touched on some of the things I wanted to even ask you going forward. Anything that takes money out of your pocket is a liability, right? And anything that brings money into your pocket is an asset, right?
Mhm.
And so, what are we going to do? We want to guard what takes money out of our pocket and put more emphasis and energy on what brings money into our pocket, right? And also, I feel like you said, comparison. A lot of people cut across all over the world, everybody is comparing. He wore this shoe, kind of shoe. He wore that kind of. She carries that kind of bag. My status. Who determines status? Really, like, yeah, my at this level I am now, I shouldn't be. What level are you? Who defines levels? Do you understand?
It's
I'm just telling people what I tell myself. That's just true. And I mean, I'm glad you're here. We talk a lot, and I've learned quite a lot when it comes to money, and how to manage money from you. I'm not even close yet. That's the truth. But then, I mean, I'm better off, right? Who defines the level? Awesome. Thank God you just bought a 2025. Can I afford a 2025 Mercedes Benz right now? I need to tell myself the truth. I don't even know how you bought yours. I don't know how much car notes you're paying on yours. For those who do car notes, I don't even know where you got the money. Why should I have to? Why should you be my standard of living? Who defines standard? Go ahead, sir.
KJK. I have a very interesting thought about four, no, 7 years, 5 or 6 years ago. There's
Hmm.
this friend of mine, and no, actually, it was 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. This really good guy. He was driving a Nissan Vade, one very scrappy car. Okay, I promise you. From about zero point 0.5 miles, you probably start hearing the noise the car is making. Promise you, the guy was making almost about $600,000 annually. So it wasn't like he wasn't making money.
Whoa.
But we got to a place where we made a decision that the car we drive, right, even though we can afford it, doesn't define who we are. So it's like, well, I'll show up in a crappy car. Nobody cares. It's me they care about. So take for example, I'm flying charter plane or private plane, and I get there. I show up in an Uber from a very crappy looking Uber. It's not going to tell the pilot not to fly me. The pilot has to fly me because I'm the guest. So once you see yourself as that person and you're so
Hmm.
confident in who you are,
Confident
nobody
in who you
pressures you.
are. Confident.
Nobody pressures you.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to add that. So when you mentioned that, I started smiling. I remember that story.
But then, how do you deal with a situation where um, um, you are in a country where some of these things determine how they receive you, how they listen to you? Does it really, like, you get my point, and you know where I'm going, right?
Yes. Okay. So let's um let's break some stereotypes, if that's okay.
Okay, please do.
Um, I lived in Nigeria a little bit. Sorry, calling names. Well, it's okay. Uh,
Mm.
so for some countries that is prevalent, I think personally, I have an opinion about that. That the the way you present yourself, it's not about how much you spend on the outfits that you wear or the presentation. It depends on how you carry yourself. There's a
Mm.
way where you're going to wear a clothes that is sold for $10. Are you with me? And
Mhm.
people will see the confidence in you, if that makes sense. And there's
So,
a place where you're going to wear a cloth that is worth $2,000 and people will see you as tacky. So
hmm.
it all depends on you, how you build yourself as a person and what you exude. Take, for example, I know there are a lot of people who say, fake it till you make it and whatever the mantra is and all of that. I believe there's a great element of personal branding that goes into some of this. And personal branding is not expensive, it's just learning how to tell the right story.
True.
It's not expensive, but a lot of us, when we think about personal branding, we think about the car we drive, the food the car we drive, the clothes we wear, the shoes we wear. All of those matters, right? But it's not about going in debt or being very expensive. It's about how you carry yourself. I promise you, you can carry yourself in an expensive Gucci and you open your mouth and you say jargon. And someone who is wearing something from five and below is out there sounding so intelligent. I promise you, they'll pay the person. It depends on how you carry yourself. There are certain cycles you go to, even in the same countries we're talking about, and they don't care about what you got on. They care about the value you bring to the table. So I would challenge everyone who is having that issue is work more on yourself, push yourself out. I promise you the right audience is coming.
Wow, awesome. Does my relationship also affect my money mindset? Kind of. Does it affect um my awareness of my, because I mean
Absolutely.
my relationship with someone like you has helped me financially to an extent, right? Major extent, right? So, but I don't know, is it personal to us or it's a
No,
okay?
it's everything, KJK. It's everything. Let's not even stretch that question. Your relationship determine who you are. Show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. That's what they remind us when we're growing up. Your cycle of influence determine who you are and where you go. I'll give you an example. I always challenge myself to be in rooms where I'm the one with the least amount of money, amount of exposure, and all of that.
Yep,
So that
yep,
that humbles me every time I get into that room and humbles me and challenge me to go listen. I think I was sharing with you at my job we're having like a Christmas party at my job, and in that particular place we're all seated and we started going around the table and I was like, yo, this person said they did something with the Department of Defense. They built this technology. This lady said, oh, yeah, this particular medtech device, I came up with it. I have the IP and all of that. And I'm like, wait, it's being used in all the hospital system. This other person was like, oh, yeah, I built the Nokia IP on one particular feature on the Nokia phone, and it's being used by this. I was like, and then they were like, Abraham, tell us about yourself. I was like, no, I got nothing to say. I'm just here to listen and learn from you guys. It's just simple. It's all about knowing your cycle. Your cycle will actually challenge you. But going back to personal confidence, if you are not well grounded, when you find yourself in those places, you might want to tend to brag and position yourself and talk, but learning when to shut the hell up.
yep,
You're in certain
yep.
places where it's not a reason, there's not an opportunity for you to show what you know, what you don't know. If
Shut
they
up.
want to learn from you, they're going to ask you, shut up and listen.
Come on now.
So, to answer your question, your relationship and people around you determines how far you go. I'll give you an example. If you're the only one who is making the most money from all of your friends, and all of your friends don't have more money and they're not making as much as you, they would always come to you to borrow from you and they will still pull you down. Are you tracking with me? So, I'm not saying leave your cycle. I'm not saying leave your day one. Build day two people. Are we
Build
tracking?
with two
So,
people around your day
yes,
one.
I on your day
There you
one.
go. There you go. There you go.
I hope that answered the question, sir.
So if I'm at the level where I'm still making some hundreds of dollars or hundreds of naira, or hundreds of pounds, I should have someone in that circle of mine not may not know these other people that is making thousands. If I'm making thousands, I should have a relationship with someone or a few people who are making millions. If I'm at the realm of millions, I should start thinking about, or I should push in 2025 to have a relationship with multi-millions, right? And if I'm making multi-millions, so at every level, like you said, start at your level, but make sure you are hooked to someone that is above your level. Because if all you have are people around, all the people you have around you are the people at your level, you will remain at that level. The language they speak, the moves they make, the places they go will still be the same as you are. Right. How do you build your future where is the good places to invest without losing it so we can catch up? So someone talking about investment?
There are a number of places that you can invest without losing. It all depends on what's your goal. Take this not as a financial advice. I'll just throw things out. Do as you will with it. The number of places, take for depending on your risk appetite. right? If you
Can you
have
talk
some
a little
money,
bit about risk appetite? Because when people are scared about when you start hearing losing your money, it now stops people from even wanting to invest at all. Maybe that's even the first fear that we have to overcome.
yeah. So when it comes to risk appetite, um, we all know what we are comfortable with and what we are not. Okay. Take for example, I am a very aggressive investor, and what that means is my risk appetite is so I'll bite it. Okay. The way and relationship I have with money is money. It's a tool. It comes and it goes. The current. I'm going to attract it whichever way. So if I do a bad deal, I have no worries. I'm going to make more. Are we tracking with me? So your risk appetite goes into you understanding who you are and what you can afford to lose and what your desired return is. So when I say risk appetite, I'm coming from a perspective of, oh, take for example, some people want to double their money at the end of 1 month. Some people want to double their money at the end of 1 year. Some people, you can, but you can also lose it at the end of 1 year. Are we tracking with me? But you can create a system and put money in some stable environment. Take, for example, you have $2,000 and you're putting it in your savings account. Why are you leaving it in a savings account? Why not open a high yield savings account that will give you 4% annually? Are we tracking with me? Meaning, I want to be conservative. I don't want to lose my money, right? Put it in that savings account. You're making interest on it, guaranteed.
Hmm.
Are we tracking? That's people with low risk. But I, on the other end, I've done some research. I feel like the S&P 500, for example, has continuously made 15 average of about 15% annually. I put my funds there. And I manage it and I monitor it. I put a stop loss in there.
Hmm.
Are we tracking? I
Yes.
cut across I cut across all different words to say, hey, if I have a stop loss on my profile to say, hey, if it goes
Mhm.
below this number, sell it
Yeah.
and take me out. If it goes above this number, sell it and take me out. I average or I leave it there. So it all depends on you. In the last training we did in the US, in the last conference, we talked about, learning education and education and education. When you
Mhm.
do an audit of yourself, going to take more additional knowledge to learn about how money works, not just jumping because I'm saying S&P is a stable one, just jump and go invest in it. No. Or someone say, oh, real estate. Yeah, I do real estate as well. Or you just jump, oh, because someone said real estate is the next thing, is the biggest investment you can get, 500% ROI on a real estate land, and then you just jump and go. No, do your research. Invest in educating yourself.
Yourself. Wow.
I
Wow.
hope that answered the question in a way.
How do I start investing in S&P 500 like you said? Someone is asking. Marvelous.
Go download. There are a lot of apps available out there. I use the Charles Schwab brokerage account for most of my investments. Robinhood is also another place for those in the US. For those in Nigeria, Optimus is another app that I use in Nigeria to also secure some of my funds as well.
Mm,
There's a bunch of them available out there.
do your
There's
research, right?
Morgan Stanley. Do your research. Find the ones that works best for you and your lifestyle, and start contributing into it. It's just that simple. Just Google S&P sticker and just chat S&P 500 and what some of these apps is going to show up. They all have it. And the benefit of S&P is you can gain fractional stocks in them. You don't have to buy. You can buy, say, $20 worth, $100 worth, or you can buy the whole worth of that stuff for that particular portfolio that you're buying from.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. The last question before we go. So we're running out of time now. How do we manage when we are in so much debt, even when you stop using credit cards or using your cards? How do you manage when how do we manage when we are in so much debt? Mm,
First of all,
I
I
know.
have to be I have to be very
Yeah.
honest. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
debt is terrible.
It is.
It can suffocate you. That's the truth. Bad debts. Let's start with that. I'm in a lot of debts. Okay, investment debt. So let's start with that. Bad debts
Mm,
is terrible. It can suffocate you. Okay. How do you manage when you have so much debt? My recommendation will be while you recognize you're in debt and you want to do something about it, there's something called a debt snowball. Okay. And what that means is you break down your debt into different categories, the one with high interest, the one with low balances, and all of that. But before you go into debt snowball to actually use that to solve your debt problem, the first step, are you with me, is to categorize and get to a place where you cut off all the wants.
Someone
Remember,
calls his
the
rice and
servants,
Hmm.
yes, the servants, the borrower rather, is a servant to the lender. So once you get to that place and you recognize that, you cut off all the wants. It's difficult. It's uncomfortable. People will call you weird. But my challenge to you would be cut off the wants. Give yourself time. Pick the low interest ones and the one with low balances. Take care of those first. And then you start moving up ahead on it. I know people say, oh, do I consolidate my debt or do I do this? No. Just you hold it, because if you consolidate it, they end up charging you more interest because they want to make more money off you. There's something around it, if that makes sense. So just pick it one at a time, from the least one to the most high, carrying one. Focus on the one with high interest, focus on the low balances, and then you move down that way. I hope that answered the question. But for debt, it's always very tricky because you have to understand the person's personal scenario, personal situation. So if
Yeah.
this is someone that is very real, like, if you want to have a conversation, that's a conversation that can be hard to say, hey, what is your current situation? Because there's no one cap fits it all when it comes to debt paying off debt. There's no one. So it has to adjust to your lifestyle. So going back to that, yeah. That would be my response to that is,
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
cut off all the wants and then go from there.
Yeah, really do appreciate it. Cut off the ones and take it off from there. If you want to have conversations, if it's peculiar to someone, you want to reach out. Let's have that conversation, and I can get my friend, my brother, to be on the call with you, and we can do a three-way call and have those conversations. I have someone who already reached out talking about investment. I have a certain amount of money and I want to invest in USD, but I'm not in the US. How do I go about it? I'll be glad to do a three-way call and we can have that conversation, because that's specific to an individual. Thank you so much for your time. And then also, guys, making money is not tough. It's not that bad, right? Wherever nation you are, there's always people cry. There's no job. There's no job. There are jobs. You are the one that is picking the one that you want to do and the one you cannot do. There are jobs. So that it goes back to you saying, a whole me. Do you understand? At my level, there are jobs everywhere. There are jobs everywhere. You just cannot do those jobs. You just don't want to do those jobs. And those are some of the jobs that some of us leave Nigeria or leave African countries to go do when we leave. There are jobs everywhere. Grab something, start from there. You get to meet people who can help you. You get people. I mean, I've said my story a few times to those who are really close. When we came into the US, the first job I did, I literally would be driving home and I would be crying, right? A whole me. That a whole me thing is what has kept people down and kept people broke. Status consciousness destroys so fast you wouldn't even know. Everybody just conscious about levels. It's a slang now. Levels. Come on now. Who defines these levels? There is always something. And the first job I did, at some point, my boss called me to the office and said, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Joe." He said, "No, who are you?" I said, "Joe." I thought I was in trouble. I said, "Tell me, what did I do wrong? Because if I tell you that job, you guys will start laughing at me." Right? Kind of, but that job, a lot of us have heard that story. For those who are very close, that job was the job I did that we had to do the 2018 Nigerian summit, paid for all the bills in millions, doing that same job, right? And I said, Joe. He said no. He now turned his computer to me, Mr. AB, turned his computer to me, and guess what? He was on my website. He actually went to Google me until he got down deep into who I was. And I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry." He said, "No, no, no, I understand, Joe. No wonder when you send in your reports weekly." I'm like, "This report is different. When you talk to your colleagues, when you talk to the patients, the way you do yours is kind of different. There is something about you." Now I get it. A week after I got promoted. Do you understand? Go in there and start. Show yourself your skills. And that goes back to what my friend said, talking about educating yourself, not just even in finances, but personal development. We talked about that in the first webinar. Tayo Ashley talked about that last week. Abraham Ibrahim is also saying the same thing today. Develop yourself and go out there. Start with what you have where you are. C'est fini. Thank you so much. I want to say a very big thank you one more time to my friend and my brother Abraham Ibrahim. I appreciate you for taking our time to be on this call with us today. All right, guys, let's do a quick one. 1 minute behind time. In 2 minutes, we'll be out of here. Hopefully, the next webinar is going to be how to build a healthy lifestyle that will transform your life in 2025. How to build healthy lifestyle that will transform your life in 2025. I've read in several places, I've watched several videos about how you can actually live out of pills. And I saw someone, I met her, talk about it. We had a meeting, and we were talking about calling different fruits and different, mix this with this, takes care of headache, mix it, and not just looking at a book, like literally know what to do for a lot of stuff and how it has helped a lot of people. Now, we're not saying don't do that one. We're saying that while you are doing that one, start learning how to do this other one that helps you live healthy. So we're going to bring her on next week. Linda Orajekwe, she will be with us next week. How to build healthy lifestyle that will transform your life in 2025. So we're taking a little bit out of, talking about money, purpose, goal setting, and all of that. And we want to talk about health. It is only a healthy body that will talk about healthy money. Okay, right? If you are not healthy, that's what you're going to focus all your money and all your attention on. We can live healthy in 2025, and that's what we'll be discussing next week. All right, please share the link across board, your network, your friends, your family, your loved ones, your enemy. Put it everywhere. It is webinar.kjkdevsystems.com. Let everyone join and be a part of our webinar series. We are on webinar 3. This is series 4, and we're going to 7. At 7, then we will start having bi-monthly webinar series going forward. So please, media, you want to put that link there, you want to share it in the chat room, we'll go along with webinar.kjkdevsystems.com. Put in your details and you would get notifications when it is time for our webinars. Also, we have the KJK Elevate Network, and we would be partnering a lot with my friend and my brother Abraham Ibrahim for this when we launch out the KJK Elevate Network. It's going to be a community of a very few individuals who are not stereotyped, okay, beyond our webinars, and who want to operate at some dangerous levels of result and influence. Someone I have so much regard for calls it galactic level. It's not, we go beyond global. I want to go global. I want to do no, beyond global now. Let's go galactic. People are talking mass. People are talking about taking over planets, right? People have gone beyond all of that. We want to move beyond just survival and not just significance, not just survival to success, but success to a place of significance. This is what we're going to be discussing in that group without any censor. My friend did a lot of censoring today, and I know why, right? This is not the 100% of him. If you want to get 100% of him, then you want to go outside of the camera, right? So we're going to partner with him and a few other people when we launch this out. Please have it in record that this is not going to be free. Put in your email, send us an email, put your email address there, put your phone number. In the chat room, please, you can provide all the details as to how you can join the Elevate Network, which would start very soon. All right. As well, you want to download my free ebook, Awaken Your Day. It's some palace is what it's called devotional. It's 365 of it, one for each day. I see that on a lot of people's status going in a while now. They just keep putting everybody reading it every morning. They do grab a screenshot and put on their status and all of that. Awaken each day is one that you want to have. If you start, you will be addicted to it. The only reason why you are not yet is because you haven't started. Awaken each day is awesome. It's a good way to start your day. And I want to encourage you to please download that book, recommend it to your friends. Please don't send it to them. Let them go in there and get their own copy. Put in your details, email is fine, and then download. You're going to get the book in your email. Please, let's share that link to people, friends, family, loved ones going forward. And you can get other books as well that I have on Amazon, or you can request for it from the office. It's Embrace the Future and Unlock Your Relevance. Embrace the Future and Unlock Your Relevance. Awesome book. And I have another one coming out this year. So guys, let's just get these books. It's good and would help you a lot. And follow us on social media at KJK Speaks at official real platform. Again, thank you so much everyone for taking our time to be on the call today, and look forward to seeing you next week, 8 p.m. West African time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, and then in the UK it's going to be 7 p.m. and you can pick that and check across all of the nations that are connecting from India, I know, and then also from Germany. So please guys, this is important. Share the link with your friends and let's be a part of what's going to happen next week. Webinar.kjkdevsystems.com. Again, thank you so much, Abraham Ibrahim, for your time today. I do not take it for granted. Honored and humbled to always have you speak and share your thoughts, especially when it comes to money with us. I appreciate you. All right, guys, have a beautiful evening. Sending you love and hugs from here, and I'll see you again next week. If you have questions, keep it coming. We'll find a way to address it. Bye for now.
Well, boys, we hit the jackpot this time.
I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. These niggas doubted me, but I won't give up on myself. This me in the trap, I don't need no one else. Ain't nobody saw when I cried out for help. They could care less about the way that I felt. Told you my heart is cold, it's the pain that'll melt. I'm trying to reshuffle the hand I was dealt. How you shoot for the stars and then land in a cell. My nigga Moss down while he canned in the jail. He had to find out that shit in the mail. The judge is a bitch, he won't hand him a bail. I know he a G, he gon' handle it well. He could've gave us some info on me and got out, but he's solid, he still wouldn't tell. I made him a promise that I wouldn't fail and get up no matter how hard that I fail. Some niggas despise us, I rise to the top. Mixed feelings inside when I ride for the block. Are they really hoping I make it or they really faking and plotting on taking my guap? Stealing my style, they try taking my spot. Raising the stakes, I'm trying to raise up the stock. This game is my bitch, yeah, I got that on lock. But I had to leave, it be getting too hot. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I've been praying.